What's going on, guys? I hope all is well. So I want to talk about God's way versus the world's way for building wealth. And when I think about this subject, I think about who are you doing it for? Because when you think about God's way versus the world's way of building wealth, that's the key thing. Who are you building wealth for? Because the world's way of building wealth is for yourself. You're going out to be able to do things for yourself. You are starting a business for yourself. You are, going to work and making money for yourself. You are investing or doing something for yourself. Versus God's way, it's for His will. When you are starting a business, when you are working, you are thinking about God. You are thinking about Him as your primary source. You are thinking about, when I'm building wealth, how can God get the glory? And that's the key thing. And when I found this out and when I thought about it, that's when we have purpose in life, when we are doing things for God. But then when I was in a standpoint of just, going to work or, doing things in my business and just thinking about myself or just thinking about, hey, I'm making this money, what can I do with it? And not putting God in it, not inquiring of God about this, that's when I felt empty. Because I just felt like I was just going through the motions and just going to work. I'm just doing worldly things and that's it. But when I think about it, when we put God first in building wealth, that's when we have true purpose. Because when God bless your business, you have a business that's doing well, you have a business that's prospering, your goal and duty is to be able to use those resources, use that wealth to that God has blessed you with, and see how you can expand the kingdom, see how you can help other people, see how that you can build and add more value to other people. And that's our purpose, as far as when we are building wealth, is to see how we can add value to others. When we are in the marketplace and we have a product, we have a service, or when we are investing, how can I use these monies to be able to expand? How can I use it to give God all the glory? And when we think about it that way, that's how things can expand. That's how our mindset can expand. And that's how we can really experience true joy when we have that mindset. I think about what Jesus stated, I did not come to be served, but to serve. Also, he stated, whoever is the greatest is the least. And what I get from that is that whoever is the greatest is the person who's serving. And it's the person who's really out there trying to make a difference and not thinking about himself, but thinking about others, thinking about how they can add value to others. And that's all what business is serving others. When you see companies like Apple or Microsoft or Coca-Cola, those companies do well because they serve others. They serve others at a high level. And that's what we should be doing with our wealth building. We should be trying to think about it not from the worldly standpoint, but think about it from a standpoint of, hey, how can I build wealth, and how can I, build wealth to be able to make a greater impact? That's what our goal should be. So that's the biggest difference between God's way versus the world's way of building wealth is who are you doing it for? And what is your goal? Your end goal shouldn't be just, hey, I need more money in my bank account. That's it. How can I get more money to be able to live a happy life? But the end goal should be, hey, how can I get this money, use these monies and build wealth and be able to maximize? Because, God wants you to enjoy life. He doesn't want you just to, live a boring life. But at the same time, our mindset and perspective has to be towards His will and not our will. And that's the key difference in God's way versus the world's way of building wealth. So think about it from that standpoint. And when I thought about it from that standpoint, my mind just switched. And that's how I'm able to have more joy and lean on God more when I have that mindset instead of just thinking about myself. So when you are building wealth, think about it from a standpoint of serving. So when you are building wealth, think about it from a mindset of serving. How can I serve? How can I build wealth in an ethical fashion? And how can I build wealth to where other people are impacted in a positive way as well? So I just want to share it with you guys. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about this subject. Let me know what you think about building wealth God's way. I appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.